Well, we're back for second half independent off-tube studio commentary from the game at Old Trafford. Manchester United leading against Newcastle United at the start of the second half. The game had actually restarted, but referee Rob Jones spotted something, maybe a player just encroaching on the wrong side of the halfway line. So we are now underway for the second half. United leading against Newcastle by a goal to nil. The goal scored by Kobe Mainu. There was suspicions that Mainu was offside. At least that was the case when the goal was scored. But very quickly we saw from the replay that Trippier was very slow in coming out. So there was no issues with that. There was potentially a penalty for Newcastle. The referee didn't give it. VAR didn't correct him. But certainly Manchester United will be very happy with the way this game has gone. But just as we say that, though, they're caught in possession. And straight away Newcastle on the attack. And it's Bruno Guimaraes who finds Isak at the edge of the area. Plays it back to Bruno Guimaraes who goes for goal. It's a deflection, but it actually straightens the ball out. And Onana makes the save. But that's a warning to Manchester United straight away at the start of the second half. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz and Lewis Rafferty taking you through the action. Lewis, it was just a quick ball as Diallo gets caught in possession.
Yeah, maybe that's just a bit of rustiness coming out of half-time, but really good pressing from Newcastle. And if anything, the ball's a little bit poor, I think, into Isaac. It's a good one back, and Onana, he's already committed to go to his left going early. From Kamari is going for the shot, and it's deflected away. Still a good save, but United now are the ones coming forward. Well,
they are. It's a quick ball into Mainu. He gets into the penalty area. It was Bruno Fernandes. We were still getting replays of the chance for Newcastle. When we got back to live pictures, it was United at the edge of the area, and Newcastle only partially cleared their lines. The home side coming back on the attack here down the right-hand side with Wan-Bissaka. Now it's with Bruno Fernandes. I think it's square now over towards Diogo Dalot. Garnacho now on the left wing, being closed down there by Trippier and by Jacob Murphy, but United still edging forward here towards the Newcastle penalty area. Garnacho now back towards the halfway line here. Evans and Casemiro exchanging passes. No changes for either side, so it's Onana in goal for United. A back four of Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro, Evans and Diogo Dalot. Mainu and Amrabat are the two holder midfielders with Ahmad. Scott McTominay, Garnacho, and Garnacho is the midfield three, I should say, the attacking midfield three, and Bruno Fernandes is playing as the number 9 this evening. In theory, United have Dubravka in goal with Trippier, Kraft, Byrne, and Hall as the back four. Longstar, Bruno Guimaraes and Elliot Anderson are the three in midfield for Newcastle, with Murphy, Gordon, and Isak as the attacking three. It's 56 minutes gone at the Amex, where Chelsea still lead by a goal to nil against Brighton. A commentary of that game is also available on our service, as is what is now a procession for Celtic towards the title. They're now 5-0 up away at Kilmarnock, but Newcastle win the ball back here in midfield, and it's a chance. Oh, and Gordon goes for goal. He's charged down. A second effort coming in there from Elliot Anderson. He tried to curl it because there were two Manchester United players just in front of him, but the strike in the end goes well wide.
Again, really good piece of play from Anthony Gordon. Again, United just caught sleeping, caught lacking, playing out from the back. Good play from Isak to play it into Gordon. He just stood up Casemiro one-on-one, and Casemiro just stood big. A really good deflection away. And Alisson came in. He's really got to open up his body to go for a shot there, and there was too many Manchester United bodies back and not enough Newcastle bodies forward to really restart and recycle the attacking play. So he's got all the right in the world to go for that shot, go for that chance again. United go long from the goal kick, but Newcastle get the ball out of the pitch again.
Yeah, it's a bit of an air shot there from Amrabat. Isak now gets in. It's Murphy's ball into the box, and Newcastle United are level inside 3 minutes of the second half. It's Anthony Gordon from just a few yards out, and the Borden Ray Scouser will certainly enjoy that goal at Old Trafford. And already a couple of Manchester United fans, they're letting Gordon know just what they think of that. But it's been coming since the start of this second half. United have been caught 3 times in possession inside their own half, and just inside the first 3.5 minutes, and Newcastle have made them pay.
The own worst enemies there this entire first 3 opening minutes of the second half. Manchester United, so many chances for Newcastle that they've had only in the first opening 3 minutes. This time, yeah, they decide to go long, but Amrabat doesn't get the best touch, and he just again falls for Newcastle. It's a fantastic ball in from Murphy on the right hand side, just teasing into the area. Gordon's on side, gets into a fantastic position. If anything, he does the best thing. Onana's diving to his right, he puts it back across Onana with the outside of his right boot. Really good finish from Newcastle's number 10, and rightfully so, they get the equaliser. They had chances in the first half. Now I think if we had a very good first half, thought we were in for a very good second half as well, but now I think this is only going to liven up Manchester United, because they want to get the win. They want to, it's the last game of the season on Old Trafford, they want to prove a point, but also Newcastle, they want to take the lead. They want to get all 3 points, put pressure on those European places on the last game of the season. So I think we're in for a really exciting end of the game in this second half, and we're only just started.
We only have just started, but it was Onana's clearance to the halfway line, a strong header back from McTominay into his own half, then a missed kick from Amrabat, and then 2 passes, well, it was control from Murphy, then a quick ball into Gordon, and he finishes. And actually, if Casemiro had been in line with the rest of his teammates, then Gordon would have been offside as well.
Yeah,
so avoidable from Manchester United.
He's very similar to, I think, Newcastle's unfortunate with Trippier being thinking it's one of them where it's so avoidable. And as you say, they're just putting pressure on themselves for no reason. Really good high press from Newcastle, all credit to them, but they're giving away the ball again of Manchester United. Again, Newcastle have got a chance.
Inside their own half, it's with Bruno Guimaraes now getting towards Isak on the right-hand side of the penalty area. It's with Murphy now back to Bruno Guimaraes. He tries to thread a ball in towards Elliot Anderson. Anderson hits the deck. In fact, if it was trying to win the ball back there at the edge of the box, United play it out and they give it away almost immediately, but eventually it's hooked clear by Diogo Diallo back into midfield. It's played up in the air there by Dan Burn. It will be controlled on the right-hand side by Trippier. And then he flicks the ball in towards the edge of the penalty. That's really good control there from Anderson. He might have been brought down as he tried to play that pass. Referee Rob Jones says no. And it's Wan-Bissaka now for Manchester United down the right-hand side. He plays the through ball in towards Diallo. Diallo now back towards McTominay, who tries an early ball over towards the left-hand edge of the penalty area. It was the right idea because it was miscontrolled by, I think it was that Trippier at the edge of the area, but Kraft is there covering, and he's able to recover the situation, just gives away a corner. Yeah,
it looked like he was just going to play it into Bruno Fernandes there, and maybe would have slowed the attack down, but he got his head up, good ball into the path of Garnacho, and if the touch from Trippier is a little bit better in some sense, and a bit easier for Garnacho to get on, he could have maybe had a strike at goal, but really good defending from Kraft, and a really good goalkeeper from Dubravka to get out and put pressure on Garnacho, but again, now they've gone behind, and good piece of play from Diallo and Wan-Bissaka down the right-hand side. Fantastic link-up. They've got a corner, they've got a set-piece, they've got Fernandes to take. It'll be an in-swinger. Casemiro's there. Amrabat, Diallo. Good chance maybe for United to get straight back in the lead.
Yes, plenty of pushing and shoving inside that penalty here at Manchester United. Desperate to try and retake the lead as quick. But it's a short corner here between Bruno Fernandes and Garnacho. Then Bruno Fernandes goes for goal, and it's Dubravka diving down to his post. I think it was Dubravka with the save. It might have actually hit the post as well. We'll just see from a replay in a moment. But just as we say that, United have given the ball away at midfield, and suddenly it's 3-on-1 here for Newcastle. It's Gordon who plays the ball into Isak. Isak into the penalty area. Fantastic covering challenge there from Amrabat as Isak shoots for goal. That ball's heading towards goal. Amrabat slides in, and then it deflects off the top of the crossbar and out for a corner kick. At one point, there were 3 Newcastle United outfield players to 1 Manchester United outfield player in the United half, and somehow Newcastle don't score.
That just looked destined for Newcastle to take the lead in the game there. Gordon, good ball into Isaac. Good strike at goal, deflected from Amrabat, and even the deflection comes off of the bar, so it nearly looped over. Onana did the deflection. Thankfully, with it going off of the bar, it saves Amrabat's blushes. He did get back, all credit to him to stop the attack, because Isaac would have had a one-on-one if not. But the pressure's still on. Newcastle have a set pace, and all the momentum is with the visitors.
It really is. They're on a real high at the moment, Newcastle. It's going to be an in-swinger here from, I was about to say it's not going to be from anyone right now, because the referee's just waiting for a bit of order inside the 6-yard box. Just telling Johnny Evans to calm down. Evans is saying that he was being pushed there by Bruno Guimaraes, but we are finally going to see this corner kick now. It's going to be an in-swinger off the right boot of Anthony Gordon. Lifts it towards the back post. Dan Burn is a target. He heads it down straight into Diallo, and now the loose ball is with Kobe Mainu. Brings it out from his own penalty area. A strong challenge there, though, from Burn. And it goes out for a throw to Manchester United down the left-hand side. Now the referee is just waiting for... he's just saying, don't restart play yet, because there's potentially a question mark over how... Well, now, when Dan Burn heads this, he heads it into Diallo. Now, has Diallo used his arm here? Or is it his arm down by his side and he's just sort of struck his arm where his chest is? I think the referee asked for play to be stopped briefly, but I think now we are back underway. So they just wanted to have a look at it, but decided it wasn't a blatant enough handball, I think.
Yeah, his arm was by his side, not exactly straight by his side, but it was by his side. I think that would have been a very harsh one, especially because of how close it was. But again, even though it was a Manchester United throw-in, Newcastle got the ball and they're coming forward.
They are. It was a strong challenge there from Diallo, and now he pushes into the back of Elliot Anderson. That should be given as a free kick to Newcastle. I mean, potentially there should have been a free kick to Newcastle a few seconds earlier. Gordon is down, still holding his left ankle. So wait to see what's happened here as far as Anthony Gordon. Newcastle are going to get a free kick close to the Manchester United penalty area. Rashford is warming up. Just to say, the full bench for United is Lisandro Martinez, Forson, Hojlund, Eriksson, Anthony, Rashford, Collier, Campwala and goalkeeper Bani Adir. As for Newcastle, it's Cher, Almiron, Barnes, Murphy, Joelinton, Ritchie, Dummett, White and Nick Pope. Great to see Nick Pope back on the bench for Newcastle, has missed most of this season with injury. You can see Steve Holland there, Gareth Southgate's assistant. I think it's Tuesday, isn't it, where they announced the England Euro squad. I think it's some point early next week, just after the end of the Premier League season. Just to tell you, just to remind you as well that all the playoff games, be it the two semi-finals tomorrow, it's Leeds against Norwich, and Friday Southampton against West Brom. They're available on our service, as will be the League One playoff, the League 1 and 2 playoff finals over the weekend, and of course all 10 Premier League games on the last day of the season on Sunday, as well as all the Euro games. I'll just get that plug in very quickly as well. It's going to be a free kick hit to Newcastle. Everything's fine with Anthony Gordon, and it's going to be a free kick over on the left-hand side, about 10 or 12 yards in. But a good chance here now for Gordon as he tries to whip that in towards the back post. He's aiming at Bruno Guimaraes, but that's a good save. Comfortable save at the end from Onana. Always too close to the Manchester United keeper. Meanwhile, Chelsea go 2-0 up away at Brighton. And it's Christopher Nkunku with the goal. Missed most of this season with injury. So it's good that he's able to get a couple of goals towards the end of the season. United now in possession here with Sofyan Amrabat. Just over the halfway line. Diallo now down the left here for Kobe Mainu. I have to say, I'm not exactly a revelation going to say how impressed I am with Mainu. Everyone's been impressed with him this season. But what I like about him is the fact that he has got that ability to get from one midfield position to another. As United now go on the attack, it's with Bruno Fernandes. His cross from the left is stopped by Trippier, and that's out for a corner.
Good chance now for United to get a good ball in the area, test Newcastle. I think you're spot on there with Mainu. He's one of them where maybe his biggest detriment might be that he can play as a 6, he can play as an 8, he can play as a 10, and sometimes one of those players, you want someone to play in one position, whether you're an 8 really grow as an 8, whether you're a 6 really grow as a 6. So he's one of them where, especially when you haven't such a bad season as United are, he's been able to plug as a 6, plug here, plug there. He's had a really good game getting the goal as well, but a chance now for the hosts.
Yeah, it's a poor corner though from Bruno Fernandes, but it drops straight to Diallo, and that's a fantastic strike from Amad Diallo. Manchester United retake the lead on 57 minutes, and it really is a great strike from Amad there, as the corner kick from Bruno wasn't good. It was low, it was flat towards the near post, it was deflected out towards the edge of the area. It drops to Amad, who smashes it first time into the back of the net from the edge of the penalty area.
I mean, we've seen it a few times from the corners that Amad Diallo's going to sit there in that position in the box at the back, no one really marking him. A few times he had that shot in the first half where Anthony Gordon really closed him down, and he didn't really get a shot off that he wanted. It went flying past the bar, didn't really challenge Dubravka at all, no worry there. This time, as you say, a really poor corner from Bruno Fernandes, but because the clearance isn't the best, Diallo just falls for it really well, and he just goes, you know what, bounces well for me, I'm just going to strike this, just going to put a real good boot behind it, good power, and there's no chance for Dubravka as well. He's going through a couple of Newcastle bodies, doesn't get a touch, but if you're Dubravka, you've got to understand he can't really maybe see the best because his own teammates are in the way. But a fantastic strike from Amad Diallo, and we spoke about it, Manchester United fans are saying, well, we need a new right winger, we need this right winger, we're lacking there. We had Anthony there, that didn't really work. When Rashford's played there, that hasn't really worked. Same with Garnacho. You've got players who want to play on the left, and you spent 80 million on someone like Anthony, and that you want him to come and be a right winger for the future. I think with that strike, and he's had a really good game, to be credit to him as well. Diallo maybe making that right wing position his own, but what a finish now, and United have regained the lead just close to the hour mark.
They have indeed. It's his first Premier League goal, actually, Diallo. He's scored a few, of course, for Sunderland on loan last season. Got 14 in 39 league games. And scored a couple of goals. He's got 3 goals, in fact, when he was on loan at Glasgow Rangers. But that's a big goal for him as well. As you say, it's just at the right time. There are a couple of problems for United in those wide attacking positions. All kinds of question marks over Rashford. All kinds of question marks over Anthony as well. And I say, if Diallo can stake a claim towards the end of this season, regardless of who the new manager is going to be, if there is going to be a new manager here at Old Trafford next season, I think Diallo would certainly be part of his plans. There's a United player down, Manchester United player down here on the United right. It's the goal scorer, the second goal scorer here, Diallo. He was caught, so there's no free kick given. The referee was never even interested in thinking about a foul. It looks like Anderson won the ball there for Newcastle, and then as Diallo tries to come across, it's almost like he's caught Anderson but then hurt himself in the process. Anderson straight away wagging his finger that there was no foul, and I think the Newcastle man's probably got a point.
Yeah, I think it's just unfortunate that he has won the ball as Anderson, but on the follow-through with Ahmad trying to get the ball, he has been caught. It's not a foul at all, but it's just like it's a sore one for the goal scorer of United's second goal. Just gives maybe both managers a few minutes now. Ahmad's just going to receive some medical treatment. It looks like he'll be alright. Maybe give him a few minutes, get back to his feet, get some of the magic sponge out, if you will. He'll be alright. Maybe he gets both managers now, just gets us a chance to watch the replay of that fantastic goal from Ahmad, a fantastic strike. And I mean, as you say, going into the weekend, last game of the season, away to Brighton, big FA Cup final on the horizon as well. That'll give him all the confidence. He scored that goal that knocked Liverpool out as well, so maybe he can play a important part in the last stages of United's season.
Absolutely. Both these sides heading down south for their final game of the season. United away at Brighton, Newcastle away at Brentford. And then, of course, they have this rather unusual situation, Newcastle, where just 3 days after the end of the season, they're playing against the Spurs in Australia in a sort of end-of-season friendly rather than a pre-season one. I suppose it's all to do with marketing and building brands across the world, but it's not ideal, really, when you think there's obviously going to be plenty of players in the Euros involved. As United go on the attack, it's a strike from the edge of the area. It's only parried by Dubravka. There was half a chance there for Mainu, who, see, once again, he's allowing himself to get a little bit further forward, and he tries to flick a ball in towards Bruno Fernandes. That's good work there. A combination of Hall and Bruno Guimaraes now win the ball back for Newcastle before Dan Burn just hooks it long, but it's straight to a Casemiro. Not a good ball from him, though. He could have taken a touch, and now all of a sudden it's Newcastle on the counter as Gordon finds Isak. Isak is pushing forward down the left-hand side. He wants a free kick. Isak thinks it's obvious. The United players are furious with referee Rob Jones for giving that free kick. I mean, it's still a long way out from goal, but as far as Isak was concerned, it was clear to him that he was having his run stopped.
Yeah, I think spot on with looking at it there. It looks like Casemiro's just trying to foul him a bit cynically, gets away from him in some sense, and I think the referee's really playing an advantage, if you will, because Amrabat wins the ball, but I can't understand because Isak's run there, as you say. If Casemiro doesn't go in there, he could get away from Amrabat. It does really slow him down. So I do think it's a foul by Casemiro, more of a cynical one, and it's a yellow card for Casemiro. He's 6 of the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's a combination of Casemiro, I think, potentially. I don't think he was nailed on for a yellow card for the foul, but the reaction, I think, has just swung it in the referee's mind that he needs a booking there, because he was very, very angry. Triple change coming up here for Newcastle. Elliot Anderson is the first one to go. He's just been booked as well, of course. We got booked earlier, Anderson, so he's off. Brazilian Joe Linton coming on to replace him. Next change will be Jacob Murphy coming off, and the Paraguayan Miguel Almiron is going to replace him. So Almiron now on for Newcastle on that right-hand side. Left foot who loves to cut in on the right-hand side. Fabian Schär is the final change to come on, and he also gets the captain's armband because he takes Kieran Trippier's place on the pitch. Although I would imagine that this means now that Emil Kraft will switch to right back with Schär joining Dan Burn in the centre of defence. Yeah,
get those fresh legs on now and maybe just take it to United a little bit. We saw how sloppy they were in the opening minutes of the second half, and that's where Newcastle's equaliser came from. Maybe fresh legs can only help them with that.
It's a long cross here from Gordon towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed up in the air by Wan-Bissaka. Second ball drops very kindly here for Bruno Fernandes. He's got a lot of time to really measure that and clear it long. He clears it very long. Dubravka's off his line, and there's real pushing here from Hall to try and keep the ball alive here for Newcastle. In the end, he runs into Bruno Fernandes, who was clearly off the pitch, but now he decides to go on the pitch just in case he might need a bit of treatment. But in the end, he's just been given as a throw to Newcastle anyway, and Hall now going back towards Sean Longstaff. Newcastle keen to maintain the pace of this game. Newcastle are the league leaders this season for goals off the bench. 14 goals for Newcastle subs this season, and then a joint 3 teams in joint second, Newcastle, Brighton and Liverpool, all with 12.
Good opportunity now. Both all the players there coming on as well. I think you can say realistically, Almiron, he's a player who could be starting on another day. Joe Linton could be a player starting on another day. They both had spells, especially last season with Almiron. He had that real purple patch there where you thought
Schär always starts pretty much as well. So you say 3 very strong substitutions coming on for Newcastle here as well. It's absolutely true. And Joe Linton, to me, has been a revelation over the 3 seasons. How he's gone from being a sort of tricky striker forward to now being an established and actually actually very accomplished central midfielder.
Yeah, he went from came in as a striker, then Eddie Howe came in, he played him as a left winger, now he's gone to a box-box midfielder. And as you say, to wear number 7, you don't see many midfielders wearing 7, that's a striker, that's a winger. But Joelinton's been fantastic in that role, so as you say, it's not free subs coming on, you go, ooh, that's really... The quality's really gone down there. It's free subs that come on, and the quality's still there, the depth is still there, brings on fresh legs. Almiron and Joelinton work the socks off as well, so that's just what you need coming into the last stages of a game to keep that press high.
Well, it's United now, they're trying to get as high as they can up the field. It's with Amrabat. He gets the ball over towards Diallo on the right-hand side. He was at the edge of the area, but he's being well marshalled there by Halls. He's got to go quite deep. Now, ball coming back into the Newcastle penalty area is Bruno Fernandes charging into the box. He's been clattered into there by Dan Burn. And it looks like everything's okay with Bruno Fernandes in the end, but it looked for a moment there as though he might be in a bit of trouble. You can see that there was a freeze for him to see if he was offside, but he was very much level, so it should be a corner here to United.
Fantastic ball from Casemiro. And it was just a Dan Burn, he got the ball, he was sliding in, and it's just him and Fernandes just have a collision. And with how Old Trafford is at the sides, have that slope off the pitch, and that can be sometimes players flying to the advertising boards or anything like that. But Fernandes is back up, and he'll be the one to take the corner.
It will be Bruno Fernandes with the outswinger. His last corner wasn't particularly good, but it ended up giving United the goal after a clearance to the edge of the area. Again, it's aimed at the near post. A diving header there from Casemiro. He's now off the pitch on that slope. The ball's now played back to Bruno Fernandes on the right-hand side. He was being stopped by Almiron, but he still has the ball here for United, and he goes for a left-footed strike. It looked like he might be heading on target, just rising in the end. He had a bit of curl on it as well on his weaker left foot, but in the end, that one is over the bar. You mentioned that slope. I mean, the first time I was at Old Trafford, closer to pitch, because I've been a couple of times really high up, but the first time I was actually closer to the pitch was actually for a Team GB game during the Olympics, and you really don't get the idea on telly just how steep that slope is. And if a player at full speed is sliding or running off the edge of that, they're going to go crashing into the advertising boards.
I think it's always one of them that have just you look at it and you go, someone maybe not think of something else to do with it. It's something that you just think of Old Trafford, you think of that slope. But yeah, as you say, if you've got flying down the left-hand side or for something, but Newcastle coming in now.
Well, they do. It's a great chance out of absolutely nowhere. A strike coming in. It's saved by the shoulder of Onana, and the flag doesn't go up. There was no hint of offside. The ball is cleared back into midfield, but Bruno Guimaraes wins it back here for Newcastle, being challenged there by Bruno Fernandes. He's able to get the ball back after a quick 1-2. He's heading towards the penalty area now as Bruno Fernandes gets it into Isak, who turns. Can't quite find the space for the shot, but he plays a short ball into Kraft. It's back to Isak again. No option for the shot. Back to Emil Kraft. Isak this time being blocked here by Garnacho, who's come back into defence. Kraft then drops the shoulder and is able to get a cross in. Joelinton with the header, and it's a save. It's a really good save as well there from Onana, tipping it over the bar. Because considering how many players Man United had back, I think they'll be quite disappointed that a cross even came in at all. But once it does, Joelinton's easily jumping above Amrabat, and he needed Onana to make the save.
You could just see it coming, couldn't you, when the cross came in, Joelinton. He got that leap, fantastic leap from Joelinton as well. Just watching that replay back, lovely piece of play from Isaac, good ball from Joelinton. It's a good save from Onana. He stayed strong, stayed big, and a good save from the Joelinton header, but pressure still on with a set piece.
It's going to be a corner kick from the left-hand side. Oh, it's not a particularly good header, though. I think it's Fabian Schär got his bearings all wrong. Ball now back with Gordon. His cross is only partially cleared. It's with Lewis Hall now. He breaks into the penalty area. Just a little bit of a touch off. Bruno Fernandes just stopped him. And now United win it back. And it's a quick ball out for Amad Diallo. He's over the halfway line. He's been stopped there by Anthony Gordon. And the referee is going to give a free kick to Manchester United. A yellow card there as well for Anthony Gordon. There's not too much in it, but then it's the intent, isn't it? He's stopping a player without really trying to play the ball. Yeah,
it's not a yellow card foul. It's just that cynicalness that Diallo's getting away from him there. There's just a little bit of a tug of the shirt. Gordon's 10th yellow card of the season, so if I'm right, that means he will miss the last game of the season. Does that still count with the 10 yellow cards at this point of the season?
I think they do change it every season, yes, don't they? But not seen anything displayed that he would miss the game, so potentially we'll have to wait and see with that one. But certainly Newcastle just having to defend this free kick now. It's going to be I thought it was going to be it is a long ball in the end from Bruno Fernandes towards the edge of the area, headed away by Dan Burn. It's back into midfield here, kept alive by Diogo Dalot. There's a quick ball over towards Amad Diallo here on the right-hand side. Back with Bruno Fernandes. Great ball in! Oh, it's just a little bit too far away from McTominay. But he rightfully turns and gives his teammate a quick round of applause, because that ball was teasing there from Bruno Fernandes. just a little bit too much on it there for McTominay to get on the end of it.
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, you could have maybe seen McTominay, maybe if he just more of a diving header instead of getting his boot on it, maybe he can fly it if you will. Diallo made that really good run to the right hand side to give space for Fernandes, but as you said, just unfortunately too much on it. Good ball, good thought of play, and United now that in the last few minutes, I do think they're getting back on top in the game after Newcastle in the good response following going behind again.
Yeah, they're starting to just see a little bit more of the ball in attack now. We're into the final quarter of this match. 69 minutes gone. It is Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 1, and it will be Lewis to take us through to full time.
Thank you very much. It's been a fantastic watch at Old Trafford so far this evening, and we've still got 20 plus minutes and however much added time we will see this evening. Anthony Gordon on the left hand side, he's got a one-on-one with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Decides to go back, just maybe slowing the play down just a tad of Newcastle now. Back to Dan Burn, back in possession, Joe Linton. He's had a really good cameo so far, good ball into the path of Bruno Fernandes. Good piece of play though by McTominay. Newcastle still coming over the ball. Joe Linton loses it to McTominay, gives away a foul though, does the Manchester United midfielder, although he's playing more of a forward position is McTominay this evening. But Newcastle take the free kick quickly into Longstaff. United have got a lot of bodies back, making it difficult, making it compact for Newcastle to come forward. Good piece of play though by substitute Almiron. Substitutes have really come on and livened up the game for Newcastle, specifically Almiron and Joe Linton being very heavily involved since they have come on. Back to the left hand side to Gordon. 1-2, tries to play with Isaac. Good defending though by Casemiro. Will he give away a foul there? He will, and Casemiro, he's on the yellow card, so he's got to be a bit careful there with that tackle.
He does, yeah. I mean, he's trying to make out there's just defending himself there quite vigorously, Casemiro, like there was nothing in that one. We'll see from the replay here as Wan-Bissaka plays a bit of a heavy touch. I mean, you could almost argue that he doesn't know Isaac is there, but he's got to be careful. I think he'd be very unlucky to get a second yellow for that, but there'd potentially be some refs to give him a first yellow for that. Yeah,
I think, as you say, it's just on the blind side, isn't he, that Isaac's coming in and he's just trying to clear the ball away. It is a foul, so Newcastle will have another opportunity from this set piece. Anthony Gordon and Lewis Hall stood over. He got that left foot option, he got that right foot option. If Gordon wants to maybe whip it and curl it into the back post, or maybe if Lewis Hall wants to just tease it across maybe the 6-yard area. Burns up there, Shah's on the pitch now. He's another option, as well as Isaac. It will be Gordon to take. He does whip it really deep into the area, kept alive by Bruno Fernandes into a dangerous area. Well held up by Andrew Henry. Gets the ball quickly. He's looking to set the play off, but now he'll slow it down. Newcastle had players charging back. It was a really good delivery, and it was an alright, it was a decent header back. There was just no one in the middle, really.
No, there wasn't. I thought the cross was just a little bit too deep, so Bruno Fernandes was a little bit having to strain just to keep that one alive. If he could have just perhaps hit that more on the run, then it was more of a chance of finding a teammate with it. But again, United want to stay in the ascendancy. If they start letting Newcastle begin just the last few minutes, the visitors are starting to see a little bit more of the ball in attack.
Long ball from Wan-Bissaka up to Garnacho. Dealt well though by Burn. Now Newcastle back on the ball. Hall, lovely couple of pieces of touches between him and Joe Linton. Gordon down the left hand side. Long ball looking for Isaac. Though easily dealt by Johnny Evans into Onana. He whips it long, and again, there's just no midfield play there for Manchester United. Whip to the left-hand side to Gordon. Tries to bring it on his left, bring it on his right. Comes across the goal, and there's no one there. Almiron was sliding in at the last second. Lovely play from Gordon. Looks like he was going to shoot on his right, but sold. Aaron Wan-Bissaka brings it on to his left, and it's more of a cross-come shot, and he's just maybe asking for someone to put it in the back of the net. Looks like he might be going for goal. Almiron, though, sliding in at the last second. He just can't get a touch, and it goes back for a Manchester United goal kick.
Just looking at where Anthony Gordon had his eyes, I'm not even sure if he was trying to cross that. I think he was always going for goal, and it just ended up being almost like a perfect ball in for Almiron.
Yeah, just watching it back, I think you're spot on. At first, it looks like he's Gordon just trying to tease it into the back post. He's just trying to put it into, maybe if it goes off of the bar, off the post, and goes into the back of the net. Almiron just inches away from putting that into an empty net. Long ball though from Onana, from the goal kick into the path of McTominay. Newcastle come over with the ball. Joe Linton though gives it away to Diallo. He looks to play Garnacho in early. Looking at the stats of the second half, 4 shots for Manchester United, 10 for Newcastle, 3 on target for the host, 4 on target for the away, for the visiting side. So Old Trafford 50-50 on the possession. No real side in the second half has really had a control on the game so far. Dink ball into McTominay from Manu. Now they can unleash Garnacho down the left hand side. He's got a bit of space, but he's got Almiron and to deal with. 2-on-1 situation there, so he'll just decide to go back, and United now will just slow it down. A few 1-2s between Amrabat and Diallo into Evans. We'll just go further back to Casemiro, and he'll go even further back to Onana. And maybe this is a point now that United, they don't want to be risking it. They don't want to make any mistakes. Long ball from Onana, looking into the path of Garnacho, headed back low by Kraft into the path of Dubravka. If anything, his momentum just takes him out of the pitch, and it will be a United corner out of really nothing. Just watching the replay back, it was Kraft who heads it back, and Dubravka, he's just got too much momentum on his side. He just slides out of play with the ball, so out of absolutely nothing, the hosts do have a corner from this side. The last time they had a corner from this side, it was Diallo just on the stroke of the hour mark who got the goal to put Manchester United back in the lead. It will be Bruno Fernandes, the captain, to whip the ball back in. It will be an in-swinger on the left-hand side. Evans is up there, Casemiro, Menu, Amrabat, as you'd expect. Fernandes, hands in the air. The signal is sent into the back post, into the head of Casemiro. It's still bobbling around in the area. Newcastle can come away with it. Casemiro wins it back in the Newcastle's area, still bobbling around. They try to clear it, only as far as Amrabat into Diallo. And he'll just slow things down, trying to maybe just get a bit of control of the host now, maybe get a bit of possession, maybe to just look at controlling the game. They don't want it to get away from them. They've got the victory at current point, just past the 75th minute mark if you're just joining us. Andre Onana looks to whip one up far. Can Dubravka keep it in? He will be able to keep it on. He'll let it go out for a goal kick, but that came out of nothing there. But again, really risky there from United because they had so many bodies forward. If that pass was better into the path of Gordon, they could have had a counter to Newcastle.
Well, this is the United have been caught a couple of times, almost caught a couple of times just for that, because they are sending a few too many players forward. Even when they're 2-1 up in this game, they still want to get more players forward. It just shows you that they are desperate to get this third goal to really get in control of this game. But Newcastle were still very much in this, and again, United give the ball away. Here comes Lewis Hall now down the left.
Easily won back by Newcastle. They've got an attack down the left. Have the visitors whipped out to the right side by Bruno Guimaraes. Can keep it in, can Kraft. Good first touch, and it just rolls out of play for the Manchester United goal.
Just a little bit too much on that, I think, for Kraft to be able to really control that and still make use of it. And so there's going to be a change here now for Newcastle. They've made 3 already. They're going to make their 4th now, and it's going to be the Sean Longstaff to come off, but he's replaced by Harvey Barnes. So this is quite an attacking change. They're effectively going to have an extra attacking midfielder on the field now. Yeah,
you're looking at it, maybe is it just Bruno Guimaraes? Is he just a central midfielder? Him and Joe Linton, maybe Almiron's going to drop him to continue that 4-3-3. But you've got Gordon, you've got Isaac, you've got Barnes, you've got Almiron, that real front 3, front 4. But again, it's Newcastle need that goal. In some sense, a defeat is the 3 points is absolutely massive. A draw doesn't do too much, so they need to get that equaliser and then get that extra goal headed back from the goal kick all the way back to Casemiro from Manchester United into Amrabat. Space is just opening up in behind the back line of Newcastle, and Diallo will just run back, pass it back to Amrabat. And is it one of them as well? Because Newcastle are throwing bodies forward, they're going to press high. That obviously they could win the ball high up the pitch from Manchester United's play, but also all it could take is that one long ball up to McTominay, heads it down, and the space in behind Newcastle for the host to take advantage of.
There is. That's the other thing, because Newcastle are playing just a little bit higher. Manchester United are going to find those spaces. It's just that we've seen United are quite nervous in sort of midfield possession right now, because they know that they've got the chances to push forward and get this third against Newcastle, but they've also been caught a couple of times that they're giving the ball away.
Back to Onana now, and United will just reset. Plays it into the path of Bruno Fernandes. Good ball into the path of Diallo. He is taken out though, and it will be another yellow card brandished to a Newcastle player. It will be, I was just looking at, it'll be Schär, I believe, who picked up the yellow card. He was far up the pitch, was Fabian Schär, really pressing high, and just a late one in on Bruno Fernandes, and another yellow card for Newcastle. He just was pressed in, and it teased, and it's Schär's 5th yellow card of the season. But it's one of them where if Schär wins that ball or Bruno Fernandes don't get there first, that's another high press and a real quick and easy turnover for Newcastle to attack with.
It is, and that's probably why he won't be too worried already about his sort of good stand-in captain now getting that yellow card for that challenge, because he wants his players to be playing further up the field.
Manchester United still trying to play it from the back. Evans looks to play a ball over the top to Menu, just too much on it, and Dubravka will just pick it up, just roll it out to Dan Burn. Coming forward now, a bit higher tempo. bit more directness coming from Newcastle. Lewis Hall, he looks to play the ball over the top to Gordon, just too much on it. It'll just fall to the feet of Andre Onana. Diallo, he's trying to just progressively get forward. Lovely long ball into the path of McTominay. Tried to bring it down into the path of Ahmad. Lovely play from Almiron, and it comes off the hand of Kobe Mainoo. So on the halfway line, Newcastle will have a free kick. Try to take it quickly, but just a little bit of Manchester United trying to pick up the ball, slow the pace down, and just approaching just over the 79th minute, approaching the 80th minute. 10 minutes left, close to an extra time to be played at Old Trafford. Harvey Barnes yet to really stamp his authority on the game since coming on. Lovely piece of play from Anthony Gordon to get away from Amrabat there, but he loses that to Casemiro, and Manchester United won a free kick. And is that just maybe a little bit of frustration on the part of Gordon?
It is. I mean, I didn't think there was too much in that, but at the same time, you can see that Casemiro there, quick high five with Sofian Amrabat. As he's sort of grown into the game, Casemiro, hasn't he? He had a couple of nervy moments at the start, and now he's looking a bit stronger. But Manchester United are getting ready to make a double change. It might be the end of Casemiro's evening, actually, because we can see Lisandro Martinez and Marcus Rashford getting ready to come on.
Yeah, he's on that yellow card as well as Casemiro, and I said this earlier that Martinez had his injury problems. That this one of them where he doesn't want him to be starting too many minutes in these final two games Ten Hag, but maybe just get him some few minutes, maybe get him the last 10 to close to maybe more 15 with the added time that we might get in this game. Maybe get him 20-30 minutes on Sunday, get him prepped and possibly ready to start in the FA Cup final. But it will be the two changes. It will be free. Looks like Rasmus Hojlund will be preparing to come on. Maybe just bring more firepower on to if they do get that third goal. Fresh legs as well in the final third to come on. Can help the press if Newcastle give it away, but they've done well to beat the press of Manchester United there. The referee will just give a foul against Manchester United. Diallo, he just had, I don't know if it was a shirt or the shorts of Anthony Gordon, but he had him there. It will be a yellow card for the goal scorer of Manchester United's second goal. Just he had to beat on the Gordon, just pulled him by the shorts.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, and the referee actually counted a couple of other fouls he's got for Diallo as well, but I think it was mainly that one that probably swung it at the referee that he needed to get a booking. That might actually be the last action of the game here for Diallo. He's just looking towards the bench. Potentially it's going to be Rashford coming on to replace him. Garnacho's had a very quiet second half. Hardly seen him at all. So it may be that he gets the hook. But Newcastle have taken the free kick short.
Taking it short, taking it quickly into Joelinton. Poor pass into the path of Bruno Fernandes, but intercepted by Bruno Fernandes back into Joelinton. And Newcastle still have the ball, still pressing high for the host. Coming forward now down the left-hand side with Harvey Barnes, cuts in onto his right foot. So a really good ball into the back post, into the path of Crafton. Just once again, very similar to the ball from Bruno Fernandes, just a little bit too much on it. Tries to put it back in a dangerous area. Good ball in from Barnes, just too much on it. And again, it'll just trickle out for Manchester United goal kicker. Maybe the substitutes will come on now.
Yeah, the triple change. So Hojlund is ready to come on. We're going to see that it's going to be Amad Diallo to go off, and I guess that it will be Marcus Rashford to replace him. Hojlund, I'm assuming we'll see who Hojlund comes on for, of course, because United started the game with Bruno Fernandes as their number 9. Be surprised if it was Bruno Fernandes who would be going off now. Just wait to see exactly what's happening here. We can see that Hojlund is on for Garnacho is off as well, so the two wingers have gone off. And Kobe Mainoo is off as well. So Mainoo, he will be replaced here for these final minutes in the middle of the park by Lisandro Martinez. And that would mean that Martinez goes into defence with Casemiro going forward back into midfield.
Yeah, just now a chance. You look at it, and there's a good chance for Martinez to come on. Rashford and Hojlund now. You'd like to think this plays perfectly into how Rashford likes to play. Likes to play on that last line of defence. He's so fast, he's so pacey, and they're getting the full-backs forward. Manchester United griff 400 appearances now for Rashford. 131 goals, 64 assists. Can he add to that goal-scoring tally this evening?
I mean, he's had a very up-and-down sort of time at Old Trafford. He certainly had his critics, but when you think that after 400 games he's getting a goal or assist every other game, that's a pretty good stat, I would say.
To say so as well. The Manchester United Academy player, first debuting 8 years ago now. Ball in the box from Newcastle. Cleared away, though, only as far as Shah. He'll still come away with the ball. Deflects back to him. Rasmus Hojlund and Rashford, the two substitutes, they've got fresh legs. They're pressing down. Goes all the way back to Dubravka. And Hojlund looking to continue the press, but just slows down. There's Dubravka. We'll just switch it out to the left-hand side. Just plays it long into the path of Isaac. Casemiro still the deepest central defender for Manchester United. Dealt well though into the path of Sandro Martinez, cleared away now into the path of Rashford. Now they've got space of United. Will they decide to go for it? Do they still will obviously want that third goal to just ensure the 3 points? 3 goals, 3 points. Be a very good evening for Erik ten Hag's side. Into the path of Rasmus Hojlund. He's still going forward, goes for a striker goal, and it ends up in the back of the net. Something from nothing for Hojlund. It was Bruno Fernandes played the pass into the path of Rasmus Hojlund. He shushes the away end. The Newcastle fans brought it onto his weaker boot. His shot just trickled into the bottom corner. Don't know if Dubravka got a touch on it as well, but Hojlund's come on only minutes, and he's made it 3-1 for his side.
3-1 here after that strike from Rasmus Hojlund. That pretty much wraps things up as far as Manchester United this game. It may well be that Hojlund during a warm-up was getting some grief off the Newcastle fans, and now that he gets a goal, looks straight up into that top tier and silences the travelling Geordies. But it starts here on the left-hand side for Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes. He's got Rashford out wide, but he spots that Hojlund's heading towards the penalty area. A lovely little nutmeg there, and then Hojlund is able to get away from 2 defenders and drive the ball in. I mean, Eddie Howe's going to be wanting to know how this goal's come about, because he's actually been stopped by Byrne. Hall's in front of him, and Dubravka potentially could be getting across those. It's a great strike from Hojlund. Don't take anything away from him, but Newcastle could have defended that goal a lot better. Yeah,
on his weaker foot as well. Maybe does it take a deflection off of Hall as it goes in, and as well, it's just one of them. It's just bouncing along as well. It's not a clean strike where it's flat across the surface, and it's not one of them where it's going in the bottom corner. It just strikes, and then it looks like it takes maybe a few deflections off of a Newcastle player. But the 9th Premier League goal this season for Rasmus Hojlund, 3rd goal of the evening for Erik ten Hag's men, and we've got just less than 5 minutes left and added time. But would you like to think that's game over and 3 points for Manchester United?
I think so. I think it's difficult to see Newcastle getting 2 goals back from here, just because they have had some chances at 2-1, but not had too many clear-cut chances. Taken a free kick quickly here, and it's worked against them because Isak was offside when Hall passed the ball to him.
Unfortunate there for Eddie Howe's side. Tried to maybe just catch Manchester United sleeping, but if anything, it was Manchester United for that 3rd goal who caught Newcastle United sleeping. Just seen pictures of Eddie Howe and the travelling Newcastle fans, and especially just coming into the second half, around 40 minutes ago now, you'd have thought that they got that goal inside 3 minutes. It looked like the Manchester United came out just a little bit lackadaisical, and it looked concentrated. And after that goal, Manchester United really reset themselves, and they responded well. Newcastle are coming forward here now. They're with Harvey Barnes. They'll win a free kick against Amrabat. They might look to take this quickly. But coming into that second half, you thought maybe that Newcastle would have gone on to win the game just with how both sides came out of the break.
Yeah, I think there was an opportunity missed there from Newcastle in those first 10 to 15 minutes of the second half. United just seemed to be a little bit nervous at the start of the second half, and potentially that was the opportunity for Newcastle. They actually had a couple of good half chances in that spell as well, but they weren't able to take it. Amrabat, by the way, has been booked for that challenge. It's his 5th yellow of the season.
Free kick now. Lewis Hall to take in a very difficult position, but Newcastle are thrown bodies forward. The high line for Manchester United just on the edge of the 18-yard box for the runners. It'll be the left boot of Hall, so just McCurler maybe into the back post from Newcastle's left back. Whips it into a dangerous area onto the head of Joe Linton. Good chance straight into the chest of Onana. He'll just grab the ball, he'll just lay it down and just try to tick a few seconds away.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good header from Joe Linton, but he worked so hard to get above Diallo that he pretty much all he could do was make sure the header was on target, and it was never really powerful enough, and an easy save for Onana. But here come United now with the ball over the top for Hojlund.
Rashford with the ball over the top, really good sweeper keeping there from Dubravka. Hojlund looks like he might have got there first, and just in some sense maybe pulled out.
He
but really
hesitated, didn't he? Yeah. To me, he was odds on to get to that, and then suddenly Dubravka gets there and puts the ball out. I actually thought that Hojlund perhaps didn't trust his own pace then.
Yeah, you thought that maybe they got that touch and Dubravka came out, but made it difficult. But you thought he could get a touch and maybe has a free shot on goal just outside the area. Christian Eriksen is ready and warmed up to come on. The throw-in is into the path of Hojlund. He's had a very good cameo since coming on. Ball into the path into Wan-Bissaka. Sorry, he's misplaced by Hall, but then back into the path of Wan-Bissaka. Bit of a challenge between them two, but Newcastle come over the ball into Harvey Barnes on the turn into Anthony Gordon. Does well to beat a few Manchester United players. To the path of Joe Linton, now down the right hand side with Almiron just ticked over into the 88th minute. Joe Linton on the edge of the area. He'll go for a strike at goal. Always going wide, though, unfortunately, for the Brazilian. And now Manchester United will make another change. I think maybe it could be Bruno Fernandes. He's down on the deck. Maybe it'll be Eriksen coming on for him. He's missed the last 2 games as Fernandes through injury as well. Maybe get him off, get him ready, get him wrapped up in cotton wool ahead of the weekend, ahead of the FA Cup final.
Yeah, I mean, Bruno Fernandes is still complaining that he can't get up. He's not happy about all these cameo Newcastle physios, as in the Newcastle players, trying to get him to hurry up there. He's not appreciating that particular medical advice. I mean, I'm not quite sure that the thigh strain is as bad as he's making out there as he's walking off the pitch there, Bruno Fernandes. But it's his own style. He can be quite a sort of volatile player. He can be an argumentative player with officials and with his own teammates, let alone the opposition. But one thing is for sure, that overall, he arrived at Old Trafford at a time when United really were struggling, and he absolutely carried that team in his first half of the season, and he is a very much a sort of a linchpin of this team now. Yeah,
I'm not saying that he's had the impact that the signing I want to mention it, but it felt like when Eric Cantona came in, one of those sides that really just gets the side, grabs it by the scruff of the neck, and things happen. So it will be Eriksen coming on for Bruno Fernandes. Captaincy will go to the Manchester United player. And you look at Eriksen, he's 2 seasons now at Old Trafford, and you see we've heard of the exodus of Old Trafford players leaving. Raphael Varane's going to be a player who won't be back next season at Manchester United. He's out of contract. Do you think this is maybe the last Old Trafford appearance for someone like Eriksen as well?
It's a difficult one with Eriksen. I mean, he certainly arrived at Old Trafford with... It seemed like he was going to be very much a part of this Manchester United team. He was a regular starter in the early days of Ten Hag's first season. But it just seems to be that this season he's become a squad player, really struggled to break off from that because United give the ball away.
Poor ball back though by Lewis Hall into the area. Dan Burn heads it back into the middle, so Newcastle will keep possession of the ball. Just ticked over into the 90th minute. 6 minutes of added time at Old Trafford. 6 minutes for Newcastle to maybe get 2 goals. You never know, maybe get 3, take 3 points away. A draw would be a decent result, but really they wanted all 3 points in Eddie Howe's side. Still knocking it around. Manchester United sitting really deep, that low block, compact, making it difficult. Barnes puts the ball into the back post, met though by Kraft, whips it back in, deflected off at Diallo, and they will get a corner on Newcastle, and they're keeping the pressure up on their visitors.
They are. They're not letting up in Newcastle. They've just seen that 6 minutes go up. And if they were to get a goal now from this corner kick, there's still 4 minutes to play, and all of a sudden Newcastle are very much back in this game. But generally speaking, the quality of the set pieces from both sides has been a little bit off this evening. So this needs to be a good ball in from Anthony Gordon.
It will be the outswinger. Dan Burns just having a few words with the rest of the players in the area for his side. He'll go to the front post. It'll just go into the middle. Will it fall for a Newcastle player on the edge of the area? It'll fall for Hojlund. Goes for a strike at goal, and he puts it in the back of the net. A curler into the bottom corner, and only about 30 seconds, maybe more like 90 seconds, I should say, into the added time period. Newcastle are back within a chance. 3-2 Manchester United lead, but the momentum will be with the visitors.
Oh, it certainly will be. As to say, I take my. I'll have to apologise to any Manchester United fans, of course. It may well be commentators cursed that I said if Newcastle score from this corner, then potentially it's game on. And they do score from this corner. The ball is cleared to the edge of the box. And I'll tell you what, that is a fabulous strike from Lewis Hall. He takes a touch, measures the shot, puts power and precision into it, curling it past Onana into the corner. It's a fabulous goal from Lewis Hall. And with 4 minutes of injury time to play, Lewis Hall, just like Amad Diallo earlier in this game this evening, has his first Premier League goal.
Well, 2 very similar things you've said about really poor set pieces of delivery. It was really a poor one there. Very similar to Amad Diallo's goal. It was a poor set piece in from Bruno Fernandes that time, poor set piece from Anthony Gordon. It fell to someone on the edge of the area, Newcastle that time, still in the area, Amad Diallo. Both fantastic strikes, all different ones. Brighton have got a late goal at the Amex. Danny Welbeck 90 plus 7 minutes, but Newcastle coming forward. Lewis Hall, the goal scorer, whips the ball in. Onana will just go down, try to slow the game down as Newcastle have all the momentum. But it looks like that Chelsea, they do have a red card in that game as well.
Yeah, Reece James was shown a straight red card in that game. There was a minimum of 10 minutes of added time signal in that game. So we're actually going to be finishing are two matches at a very similar time, considering that game started 15 minutes before ours. Just shows you how much added time there was there in total, because we had a few minutes in the first half. We're going to get at least 6 minutes in the second half. But here come Manchester United now. Hall challenging Marcus Rashford, but it goes out for a throw to United deep inside Newcastle territory.
Yeah, it looks like there Marcus Rashford has his eyes fixated on the corner there. But Casemiro will have the ball, tries to dink it to Rashford. Last comes off a Newcastle player. And it'll be a Manchester United throw. And just inside Newcastle's half on the right-hand side. And just as we wait in there, the full-time whistle has blown at the Amex. Chelsea do win 2-1. So again, not the result Newcastle were hoping for at the Amex this evening. And definitely right now at least, because they've just got that goal back into it. So it's only 3-2. They're only a goal away from getting a really important point at Old Trafford this evening. Maybe they can turn a fortune. Now Manchester United just trying to play it around. They do win the free kick. Amrabat maybe wanted to play them with the ball to the left hand side, but they will win a free kick with the hosts.
Yeah, Wan-Bissaka gets caught there as he tries to make that pass. The referee spots that, and it does give Manchester United the free kick. It's still a long way from goal, but certainly close enough to try and think about getting a ball into the box. But just as I say that, they're not even going to bother, because nobody from United's trying to get into the penalty area.
No, it's one of them where, yes, maybe you want to put the ball into the area, maybe get that fourth and put it out, but I think as well you also maybe just want to get that ball in the corner, waste away as much time as you can. But Wan-Bissaka's given it away, and Newcastle are coming on the charge down the right hand side. Hojlund trying his best to press high. Eriksen and Rashford are pressing as well. About 90 seconds of the 6 minutes do remain at Old Trafford, so every chance that Newcastle could go and grab a third goal. You thought it was all over after Rasmus Hojlund's goal just after the 80th minute to make it 3-1. But it looks like the Newcastle, the tails are up, the momentum is on their side, the pressure is against Manchester United, the hosts. Anthony Gordon coming down the left-hand side, tries to whip one to the right. If anything, Crafty was just running in, he wanted the ball into the area, not out to the right-hand side to play. And now we've just got a minute left, and you'd like to think that Manchester United will just get this from the throw and keep the ball, even just clear it long, get it out of their area, try and maybe get it into the corner. You never know. But you'd like to think that if Manchester United come away with this, it'll be a real big confidence boost. It's not been the best of the season, but if anything, just to beat a rival in Newcastle.
Yes, and the fact that Newcastle have come here fighting, that Newcastle have come here trying to win the game. They've scored a couple of goals. They've had a couple of other good opportunities as well. The fact that United have come through this sort of bruising game and they have won it, then it certainly will be a plus for them. But Newcastle haven't said the last word yet. They're pushing forward again now.
Still coming forward with Anthony Gordon. Scott McTominay with a good foot in, but Isak gets away with the ball. Eriksen, it's no one can really get the ball right now. And Newcastle have it on the left-hand side. Less than 30 seconds of at least the allotted 6 minutes of added time left to play at Old Trafford. Still have the ball with Newcastle's second scorer, Lewis Hall. Fantastic goal from the edge of the area, curling into the bottom corner. Nothing Andre Onana could do. Coming forward with Shah, he's known for his long goal scoring ability. Just comes to Rashford on the edge of the area, he boots it away, and he'll look to try and get his own ball. Rasmus Hojlund will get it. Now is a chance now, Manchester United could grab a fourth. Hojlund's on the left hand side, Rashford's in the middle, he tries to play it into Rashford, cleared away by the outstretched Hall. It will go out for Manchester United corner, but that's one of them where you'd like to see most players go to the corner, but there was a chance for the fourth there.
There was a chance, yeah. I mean, you've got to say credit to Hojlund there for carrying on his run. I thought he might just try and cut in a bit more and actually go for goal himself. But maybe with the scoreline being what it is, and knowing that Rashford could do with the confidence-boosting goal, he wanted to play it into his teammate. But credit to Lewis Hall, he's back covering there and he puts it out for a corner. Yeah,
it wasn't the best ball from Hojlund, but it was still a good ball into the path of Rashford. Just all credit to Hall for getting back there. We have played just over 40 seconds of the 6 minutes of added time. It will be a corner for Manchester United. Eriksen to take, and McTominay will just try to battle the ball and keep it in the corner. Newcastle come away with it, and Eriksen plays it into the box to Rashford. Maybe he'll go for a strike at goal. He does, deflected away off a Newcastle body. All eyes on the referee. We'll go out for the Manchester United throwing high on the left hand side, almost close to the corner flag. We have played 7 minutes of extra time at Old Trafford. As I say, all eyes on the referee. It will be Diallo to take. Rashford picks it up, slows the game down. Looks like it will be all 3 points going the way of the hosts this evening. And as Paul said, you'd say when Newcastle have come wanting to play, wanting to win, and it's been a fantastic result for Erik ten Hag's side. The referee does blow the whistle. Manchester United come away with all 3 points thanks to goals in the second half from Diallo and Rasmus Hojlund. Full time at Old Trafford. It's finished Manchester United 3, Newcastle 2.